Let's take a look at a sample writing passage. So this passage covers questions 39 through 45. Remember, you're going to see 3 of these in total. And what's beautiful about these passages is they tend to be easier than the reading passages. So let's take a look at this one. It says, Gabriela Sosa sits with a group of elementary age students under the age of a banana tree in rural Honduras. A recent high school graduate, Gabriela is volunteering for a literacy program in Honduras as part of her gap year experience between high school and college. Gap year is the phrase used to denote the period of time taken by students between graduating high school and beginning college. The concept is gaining popularity and can be beneficial for students if implemented correctly. So you can already tell that this is going to be easier than, let's say, the Helen Keller passage I read for the reading questions, and certainly easier than even challenging modern passages. So I'm reading through this. This is Gabriela Sosa. She's on her gap year. She's in Honduras. Motivation is the key when considering the pros of a gap year. Students who have a clear plan to accomplish something are more likely to benefit from a gap year than those who simply want a break from school. Studies show that when students take a gap year to accomplish a specific goal, they are more likely to return to college focused on academics. This renewed focus helps them earn higher grade point averages and graduate on time. Another benefit of the gap year is the emotional maturation of students. With 6-year college completion rates hovering at about 60%, it is obvious that many students who attempt a college degree are not equipped to complete it in a timely manner. A gap year provides the opportunity for students to explore career options and ultimately find a degree program that meets their career goals. A gap year is not for every student. However, with intentionality, a gap year can be a positive learning experience for many. So easy to read. I should almost read this maybe even faster just to get a general sense of where everything is. I also notice that all the sentences are numbered. These are going to be very helpful as I'm working my way through. So let's go to question 39. It says, in sentence 1, reproduced below, the writer's considering deleting the underlying text. So it says, Gabriela Sosa sits with a group of elementary age students under the shade of a banana tree in rural Honduras. Should the writer keep or delete the underlying text? Now, I could start by trying to figure out what I think for myself. I'm just going to zoom out here. And it says that she sits with them under the tree, a recent high school graduate. She's volunteering for a literacy program as part of her gap year, ... So I like it because it does kind of set the tone of this passage. It's in the introductory phrases. It's not randomly put in the middle, but it doesn't matter what I like. It matters which answer choice is going to be the best. So is it A, that she should keep the sentence because it establishes context and provides a description that clarifies the purpose of a gap year? Maybe. Keep it because it helps audiences in developing nations see that an education is possible. I don't think that the banana tree part is particularly inspiring, so that's not it. Keep it because it establishes an uplifting and optimistic tone that will appeal to readers. Again, I don't see how the banana tree is particularly optimistic. Delete it because it's contrary to the writer's purpose and detracts from the main argument. If you want to get rid of this banana tree, you're going to need a better reason than that it undermines her argument. This is not an argument about bananas, so D is out. And E, delete it because there's no supporting evidence to defend the claim that she sat under a banana tree. Again, you can see these answer choices are very misaligned for the phrase that we have. The phrase is, she's sitting under a banana tree. It's a nice detail. That's why she should keep it. That's why A is the correct answer. Let's try another one. It says, question 40 says, in sentence 4, reproduced below, which version of the underlying text best clarifies the writer's purpose? So think about that phrase, clarifies the writer's purpose. If I'm going to clarify a writer's purpose, I need a statement that's almost kind of like a thesis statement. So I'm going to look for which of these sharpens that thesis statement up. So the sentence is, the concept of is gaining popularity and can be beneficial for students if implemented correctly. So gap year can be beneficial if you do it right, which seems to be a theme. Okay, let's see what the other options are. The concept is gaining popularity, but it is not useful for students who want to graduate with honors. Well, that's completely off topic. She's not talking about graduating with honors or anything like that. C, yet teaches irresponsibility and self-centered behavior. Is this an anti-gap year diatribe? Definitely not. Even though it's been in existence since the 1800s, the concept is gaining popularity even though it's been in existence since the 1800s. No, that's not the correct answer. And E, as students around the United States seek alternatives to college. So let's see, how does that change? Changing it from as it is, which is and can be beneficial for students if implemented correctly. How does changing it to as students around the United States seek alternatives to college? I don't see how that adds anything. There's no good reason to change it. The correct answer is A. Let's try another one. Question 41 says, the writer wants to revise the underlying text in sentence 5, reproduced below, to more effectively emphasize the main argument. Which change best achieves this goal? Motivation is the key when considering the pros of a gap year. So motivation is key to understanding the positive aspects of a gap year, okay? Implications, drawbacks, appeal, efficacy, or criticisms. So here's a question. Some of these are kind of complicated words like efficacy, which is how useful something is, or criticisms we know is criticizing it. It's saying which effectively emphasizes her main argument. Her argument is if you do a gap year right, it can be really helpful. So let's go back up and read for some context. Let's see, motivation is key when considering the pros of a gap year. Students who have a clear plan are more likely to benefit from a gap year from those who simply want to break from school, etc. And then it says another benefit of the gap year. So we're definitely focused on the benefit. Motivation is not a key to therefore to understanding the drawbacks or the criticism or even the appeal. Motivation is about how successful it is, and that's why D is the correct answer. So notice that as I'm going through these answer choices that I'm going back to the passage, I'm looking for wrong answers, and I'm asking, does this help the author's main argument? That's the value of reading the passage beforehand. So as you go through the writing questions, focus on these core features. Take an initial pass through the passage to understand what it's talking about. Focus on what questions are specifically asking about undermining or supporting a particular author's claim. Make sure that you have a good understanding of this, and then look for wrong answers. The writing and composition questions do not really test skills. Officially, you'll see things like parallelism and misplaced modifiers and some basic skills, but it's not about grammar. It's about your process of working through the passages.